Welcome to Movie Vault, Gorge, 2025. When nature becomes the predator, welcome to Movie Vault, your premier destination for comprehensive film analysis. Today, we're exploring Gorge, 2025's breakthrough psychological horror film that has captivated audiences worldwide. Let me guide you through this remarkable cinematic experience that blends environmental horror with psychological tension. Introduction: Gorge emerged as one of early 2025's most unexpected horror successes, offering a fresh perspective on survival horror by masterfully combining psychological thriller elements with environmental dread. First-time feature director Maya Kwan has garnered widespread acclaim for her innovative approach to building tension, the film's stunning natural landscape cinematography, and compelling performances from its small but powerful cast. Plot overview: the narrative follows Dr. Elena Reyes, Zoe Kravitz, a geologist and experienced climber leading a research expedition into a remote canyon system in the American Southwest. Her team includes her estranged brother Marco, Daniel Kaluuya, wildlife photographer Tessa Chun, Gemma Chan, and local guide Sam Whitefeather, Martin Sensmeyer. What begins as a scientific mission to study unusual geological formations rapidly descends into a fight for survival. The group discovers that the canyon system, known locally as the Gorge, contains an isolated ecosystem that has evolved independently. As they venture deeper, they begin to suspect that the gorge itself possesses a form of sentience, manipulating its environment to confuse and trap them. The team experiences increasingly disturbing phenomena: pathways that shift direction, new rock formations appearing overnight, and strange bioluminescent organisms that seem responsive to human emotions. When Tessa vanishes during the night, paranoia fractures the group. Elena becomes convinced that the gorge isn't merely a location but an entity, one that's studying them as they study it. The film brilliantly blurs the boundaries between supernatural threat and psychological breakdown as characters confront their deepest fears while attempting to escape the ever-changing labyrinth of stone. The ambiguous conclusion has fueled intense viewer debate about the nature of reality within the film's universe. Production background: Gorge had a remarkable path to production. Originally conceived as an independent project, Aisha Patel's script caught Blumhouse Productions' attention after winning the 2023 Nickel Fellowship. Jason Blum's backing secured a $15 million budget, modest by Hollywood standards but substantial for an original horror concept. Maya Kwan, previously known for award-winning nature-themed short films, insisted on location shooting rather than relying on studio sets or CGI environments. The production spent 8 challenging weeks filming in Arizona's Antelope Canyon, Utah's Zion National Park, and New Mexico's Carlsbad Caverns. The difficult shooting conditions, extreme temperatures, limited access points, and the challenges of filming in narrow canyon spaces contributed to the film's authentic atmosphere of isolation and vulnerability. Cast members have described how the physically demanding shoot enhanced their performances, with Kravitz noting that the weight of those canyon walls around you created an emotional reality no green screen could ever replicate. Thematic depth: at its heart, Gorge examines humanity's complex relationship with the natural world. The film portrays nature not as a passive setting but as an active force with agency, perhaps even consciousness. This anthropomorphization serves as a powerful metaphor for humanity's historical underestimation and mistreatment of the environment. Each character represents a different relationship with nature. Elena views it scientifically, seeking to classify and understand. Tessa sees it aesthetically, capturing its beauty while objectifying it. Sam respects its power, incorporating indigenous perspectives. And Marco, traumatized by a previous wilderness accident, approaches it with fear. As the gorge manifests each character's deepest anxieties and regrets, the film transitions into profound psychological horror. Elena confronts her guilt over a climbing accident that nearly killed Marco. Her brother faces his unresolved trauma and environmental fear. Tessa must reconcile her tendency to observe rather than participate in life. Sam confronts his role in commercializing sacred spaces. The narrative subtly explores themes of colonization, the hubris of entering spaces with the intention to study, classify, and ultimately control them. Scientific instruments fail, maps become useless, and rational frameworks collapse as the gorge asserts dominance. Cinematic craftsmanship: cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto delivers exceptional visual storytelling in Gorge. The film begins with majestic, expansive vistas showcasing the canyon's beauty. As tension builds, the framing becomes increasingly claustrophobic, employing tight angles and disorienting perspectives. The visual palette transforms throughout the narrative. Daytime scenes feature warm lighting highlighting the sandstone's red-orange hues. Nighttime sequences introduce an otherworldly palette of blues and greens from bioluminescent organisms, creating an environment both beautiful and threatening. The film effectively uses scale to generate unease. Characters appear as tiny figures against massive canyon walls, emphasizing human insignificance against geological time. Conversely, extreme close-ups of rocks, plants, and insects reveal a hidden world of complexity typically overlooked by humans. Johnny Byrne's sound design creates much of the film's unsettling atmosphere. Rather than relying on conventional jump scares, Gorge builds tension through subtle environmental audio. Wind whispering through narrow passages, distant water droplets echoing, sand shifting, and the barely perceptible grinding of stones suggesting canyon movement. Nicholas Britell's score complements this approach by blending orchestral elements with processed natural sounds. The music often begins recognizably human, strings, piano, before distorting into something primal and unsettling. Particularly effective is the leitmotif associated with the gorge itself, a deep, resonant drone that seems to emanate from the earth, becoming increasingly complex and responsive to the characters' emotions. Performances. The small cast delivers powerful performances grounding the supernatural elements in emotional reality. Zoe Kravitz portrays Elena as a woman whose scientific rationality is both strength and limitation. Kravitz brings nuance to a character maintaining control as her understanding of reality disintegrates. Her physical performance convincingly depicts both the technical skills of an experienced climber and growing desperation as the situation deteriorates. Daniel Kaluuya brings depth to Marco, a man confronting past trauma to survive. Scenes exploring the siblings' complicated relationship provide the film's emotional core, with their shared history, revealed through carefully placed flashbacks, adding layers to their present conflict. Gemma Chan transforms Tessa from a somewhat detached observer into one of the most complex characters. Chan skillfully portrays Tessa's evolution from someone viewing nature through a camera lens to someone becoming deeply, terrifyingly connected to it. Martin Sensmeyer's Sam offers a counterpoint to the other's scientific perspectives. The character avoids indigenous stereotypes, presenting a modern individual with a complex relationship to his heritage and the commercialization of sacred spaces. Reception and impact. Gorge premiered at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival, winning the Grand Jury Prize in the dramatic competition. Critical reception has been overwhelmingly positive, with a 92% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics have praised the film's visual storytelling, atmosphere, and ability to create genuine dread without conventional horror tropes. The New York Times called it a landmark ecological horror film that makes viewers feel the ancient power of the earth itself, while Variety praised Kwan's direction as assured and innovative, announcing a major new talent. Some criticism targeted the film's ambiguous ending, though most reviewers acknowledged this ambiguity as intentional and thematically appropriate. The film performed impressively at the box office, grossing over $120 million worldwide against its $15 million budget, demonstrating audience appetite for thoughtful horror outside familiar franchises. Environmental resonance. Gorge has sparked conversations about environmental themes in horror. While ecological concerns have appeared in horror before, Gorge approaches the subject with greater subtlety and complexity, avoiding simplistic nature's revenge narratives. The film explores how humans project fears and desires onto the natural world. The Gorge isn't portrayed as malevolent but as utterly alien, operating according to principles beyond human comprehension. Environmental organizations have embraced the film, hosting post-screening discussions. Director Kwan has participated in these events, discussing how the film reflects anxieties about climate change and humanity's disconnection from natural systems. Technical innovation. Gorge has been recognized for technical innovations in challenging natural environment filming. The production team developed custom camera rigs for navigating narrow spaces while maintaining image stability. Drone technology captured the vertiginous quality of canyon settings. The visual effects team took a minimalist approach, using digital enhancements primarily to amplify rather than replace practical effects. Bioluminescent organisms were created through combined practical lighting and subtle CGI, maintaining the film's naturalistic aesthetic even during fantastical sequences. The enigmatic ending, the film's ambiguous conclusion, has generated extensive viewer discussion. Without revealing specifics, the ending permits multiple interpretations about the Gorge's nature and the surviving character's fate. 3 main theories have emerged. The supernatural interpretation. The Gorge is indeed sentient with reality-manipulating abilities. The psychological interpretation. The strange occurrences represent the character's mental breakdown under extreme stress. The hybrid interpretation. Something unusual exists within the canyon, perhaps an undiscovered biological or geological phenomenon, but characters' perceptions are shaped by their psychological states. Director Kwan has avoided confirming any interpretation, stating that the uncertainty is the point. Humans want to categorize everything, but some experiences resist our frameworks. That gap between experience and explanation is where true horror lives. Artistic context. Gorge draws from various cinematic traditions while creating something original. Critics note influences ranging from John Carpenter's cosmic horror to Hayao Miyazaki's ecological themes. The film shares similarities with Jeff Vandermeer's Southern Reach trilogy in exploring an environment studying humans as they study it. However, Gorge grounds its phenomena more firmly in the natural world rather than suggesting extraterrestrial origins. Indigenous perspectives on land echo aspects of films like Embrace of the Serpent, while psychological breakdown amid natural isolation recalls The Shining. The canyon setting has drawn comparisons to survival films like 127 Hours and The Descent, though Gorge takes familiar scenarios in new directions. Cultural representation. The film has earned praise for thoughtfully incorporating indigenous perspectives without falling into stereotypical, mystical native tropes. Sensmeyer's character provides cultural context while being portrayed as a complex modern individual conflicted about commodifying sacred spaces. The script was developed in consultation with Navajo and Hopi advisors, ensuring respectful representation of indigenous relationships with the land. These consultations influenced not just Sam's character but the entire film's approach to portraying the natural environment as existing in relationship with humans rather than as a passive resource. Conclusion. Gorge represents a significant evolution in environmental horror, offering a sophisticated exploration of humanity's complex relationship with nature. By blending psychological terror with genuine awe for natural landscapes, the film creates a unique viewing experience that resonates long after viewing. Maya Kwan's assured direction, outstanding performances, and technical excellence in cinematography and sound design establish Gorge as one of recent years' most compelling horror films. Its commercial success suggests audience appetite for thoughtful genre films engaging with contemporary anxieties while delivering genuine scares. Whether interpreted as supernatural thriller, psychological breakdown narrative, or climate anxiety allegory, Gorge forces viewers to confront uncomfortable questions about human arrogance facing natural forces we only partially understand. As we continue altering Earth's systems in unprecedented ways, the film's premise, that nature may respond in ways we cannot predict or control, resonates as both fictional terror and potential reality. As the film's poster ominously states, nature doesn't need to hunt, it only needs to wait. Thank you for joining Movie Vault for this exploration of Gorge. We hope this analysis has provided new perspectives on this fascinating film and perhaps inspired different viewing lenses for your next watch. Until our next cinematic journey.